tell by our background by now. We'll be talking about, we're about to start our open spoiler discussion on the brand new Super Mario Brothers movie, which is wrecking shit at the box office. I mean, it is bonkers. Jason, I went to see Dungeons and Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves yesterday. I went with Tim.
How was that?
So you would like, I enjoyed it. You probably will love it because there were people in the audience who were said little things here and there, like they were catching references, which were just going way over my head.
Okay.
And stuff, name drops and things like that. So I am fascinated when you see this. I want you can open up our episode that we can talk about. Give your review. We can do a little talk about D&D Honor Amongst Thieves soon. Once you've seen it.
Okay. I'll see it soon.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I got a good laughs out of it and stuff. I thought it was pretty cool. But the point is that the movie theater, though, that we were at was jammed. I haven't seen a theater this jammed, and I also don't go on Saturday afternoons very much. I'm very selective when I go to theaters. I try to do morning matinees or off times when it's not packed. But this was the only screening that I could go to for D&D. And it was crazy. Like the line was out the door. The concession lines were crazy. The staff, they didn't have enough people to clean up. Like the garbage is overflowing. The bathrooms were destroyed. It was nuts. It was completely nuts. And my wife went back to see D&D today with one of our neighbors' kids over here, and then she said the same type of thing today. The theater was jammed, and you could tell these were all for Super Mario Bros. They had 4 screens showing the movie.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I knew this would make bank, but I didn't think it would be like a phenomenon like this.
No, it is. And I forgot. I know the final numbers aren't in. Those usually come in on a Monday, but it is the biggest opening. It has set a record for biggest opening for an animated film globally. It has beaten Frozen.
Wow. All right. I mean, look, I think it did a good job. I'm glad it's making money. I kind of have a sense that because of this is making money, this is not the last we're going to see of Nintendo and this company that did this. Like we're going to get a Metroid, we're going to get a Castlevania, we're going to get a Zelda. Like just watch, they're going to start putting their empire together after this. They're going to start franchising in a very interesting way.
Well, this is the first Nintendo movie since the disaster that was Super Mario Brothers 1993. They have not licensed a Hollywood-made movie since, and this is the first. Yeah, no, you're right. I think we're gonna get everything you just said right now. Zelda, Castlevania, whatever it is, we're gonna see a whole bunch of stuff now coming. Whatever Nintendo specifically has the rights to. Listen, even for Grogan, if he's watching, you might even get an Ice Climber movie after this. Who the hell knows?
Ice Climber.
You just might. No, but Illumination, who was the studio who was behind this with Nintendo, they've done many things. They've, before the movie, they kind of show you all the stuff they've done. Secret Life of Pets, which I enjoyed. There's Minions and Despicable Me and all of that. They have a lot of hits, so this was the perfect studio for them to team up with for this movie. Having said of that, overall thoughts. I thought this movie is a really fun movie. I agree with the criticism that the plot is whatever, but honestly, it's totally secondary. It is very geared towards children, but that's not a knock at all, though. I think that's what this movie should have been anyway. It's kind of what I was expecting. So the plot is what it is, and it's fine. It's just very basic. But I had a lot of fun with it, though. There was a lot of cool Easter eggs and references for even the adults in the room. Like Jason and I went to see this with my wife, and it was a bunch of kids in the theater on Thursday night. And it was a blast. I had a lot of fun. Is it like the best animated movie I've ever seen? No, but they understood the assignment, is what I was so happy about. They understood the assignment, the writers of the film. Make a Super Mario Brothers movie, get your references there, get some jokes in there for the adults, but be entertaining as hell for the kids. Do some kick-ass animation, which the animation in this is phenomenal, I thought.
Looks great. Looks
And
great.
the voice cast, yeah, the voice cast I enjoyed. I didn't had no issues with it. I know there was a lot of people like getting their panties in a bunch over Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt is fine in this. Uh,
Yeah,
everyone.
he didn't bother me.
Yeah, Jack Black is awesome as Bowser. I thought he was one that was like almost stealing scenes at times. Um,
He was really. I didn't realize that was Jack Black until the end, and that's how I like these movies. Like if I can recognize your voice as an actor, it takes me out of it. I did not recognize any of their voices, and I think Jack Black. I didn't love the character of Bowser, but it was on it's on a thing because they make a choice to make him like in love with Peach. It's a children's movie, so whatever. It's a choice made for children, not for adults. So I just didn't love it. But I do think like his voice acting was fantastic because when he plays commanding and scary, he can really bring it. And then when he goes into that weird, goofy love child thing, he also does that very well. So I thought he was actually him and Charlie Day. I think were the standouts in this.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. I think both of those were the one voice that was extremely unrecognizable is Keegan Michael Key as Toad. And I had posted to our Facebook page earlier today because he was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, was talking about how he was changing his voice for this. He was unrecognizable as Toad. But well done though.
He was super well done, and I love him. I think he's one of those people I put on a list that he's a national treasure. He's so talented. And so as a fan of his, I was surprised when I saw him in the credit name in the credits because I was like, shit, I didn't even recognize him.
No. And also Seth Rogen I thought was really good as Donkey Kong as well. Like, it's kind of like a teenagers and stuff. And there's a lot of like from the N64 game references that were in there regarding him. Fred Armisen is in us as Cranky Kong, which is being credited as, and that's his father.
Was fun.
Yeah.
Yep. I liked him a lot. And I have to admit that I like the fact that, yes, this was a Super Mario Brother game, but it also is a Mario Kart game. And we get Donkey Kong, and we get weird Easter eggs to Punch-Out and Wrecking Crew, which are like games that Mario was in before Mario Brothers. So I know we get references to the Luigi Ghost Hunting movie.
Luigi's Mansion.
Luigi's Mansion. Right? Like, because he winds up in a fucking haunted mansion at one point. Yeah. So I don't know. I really dug the story's flimsy because it's a children's movie. Most children's movie stories are flimsy because that's what kids can pay attention to. But I kind of dug the weaving in of these other properties that are Mario adjacent and kind of bring it into a unified movie. I really did enjoy that.
Yeah, it was Luigi's Mansion. Also, there's another thing too, is that so the Mario Brothers are doing a commercial for their business, their plumbing business that they just opened up. This is very much an origin story for Mario and Luigi. Like, I think that's something that was I enjoyed because Mario doesn't just show up and is like, I'm a hero. I'm here to stop Bowser and save the Mushroom Kingdom. Like, he learns how to be a hero in this movie. And they're doing this commercial where the song is an exact reference to the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. That was a cartoon on Fox back in the day, which I thought was a lot of fun. It's like the whole rapping thing that's in there. I thought that was cool.
Yep. Captain Albano is there.
Yeah. I thought that was a lot of fun. But you're right. Yeah, they reference Mario Kart and like Wrecking Crew, like you had mentioned, Luigi's Mansion. Super Mario 3 is also in there, reference as well. There's the Donkey Kong N64 references that are here. It references a ton of stuff, and there's still so much more that they didn't get a chance to reference, which I think you can go with in the sequel.
Yes.
Because this is getting a sequel.
And what I liked, of course it is. And what I liked about it is the references were part of the plot or they were Easter eggs. Like, it wasn't just, you remember this, Like, that's why when you asked me afterward, like, Soulless Cash Grab or not, because you know my opinion on children's movies. I'm very critical of them. And I said, absolutely not. This understood the assignment because, like, we didn't just go to Donkey Kong Country so they could go, you know this game. You like this game. If we hit your nostalgia button, it's like, no, Donkey Kong Country, like, they needed to go and do some plot business there. when they actually give us the sequence of Mario Kart, it's not just, huh? Well, you like this, huh? You'll enjoy it. You'll eat this pig, eat it. No, it was like, no, this is a plot business. We have to get someplace quickly, and this is kind of the way we're going to try to outsmart Koopa. Whether it works or not doesn't matter. And that's what I like about it. The references were all plot business that was part of what was going on. It wasn't just throwaway nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. And I think that's why this did a really good job, is because it gave us a coherent story and a coherent movie with characters that grow, on the children level, of course, but also gave us these cool references that weren't forced.
Yeah. No, great. I would second you on everything you said there. That was spot on. One thing I thought was kind of weird was the score of the movie is really cool when it's like Mario Brothers related, but there were some weird song choices that were in there, like this "Holding On to a Hero" again, which feels like a lot of different movies are using it. I'm not holding it as a knock against the movie because Jason and I had talked about this. We know it was in Shazam: Fury of the Gods recently. They're not talking to each other and saying, "Hey, what songs are you using in your movie?" We'll go no, whatever. I think it's good.
I think it's fair to assume that everyone has seen that series, that moment in Short Circuit too. So we can't blame them for thinking that movie was awesome and wanting to replicate it with that song. So that was all I was going to say.
Yeah, I think it's just it is a bit of an odd song choice in that point in the movie, but whatever. Again, we're talking about a kids' movie, so it is what it is. There's Beastie Boys, "No Sleep Till Brooklyn," which is fine. That part of it is there, but the song choices that they did choose when they weaved into Mario different themes and Bowser and King Koopa playing the I thought that was awesome. That brought a smile to my face.
That was a cool scene when he goes, because again, it's character part and it's plot, right? When he's sitting there and he goes, "Come jam with me," and it's the wizard, the Koopa wizard, and he goes, and the Koopa wizard goes does it, and they're playing together while they're having the conversation, and then he winds up breaking his fingers. But again, that was a cool nod to the game, right? But it also gave us plot stuff. It also gave us character stuff. It wasn't just, you remember this.
Yeah, I think the references are weaved in and out seamlessly, so I enjoyed all of those. And we saw it in 3D. What did you think of the 3D in this?
I thought it was fine. Nothing really. I could have seen it without 3D, and I don't think I would have had a much different experience. This doesn't nothing was really coming at you. There was there was a couple of cool things where I was like, oh, the environment looks like I'm kind of there. But I honestly see it in 3D, don't see it in 3D. I don't think it made much of a difference for me.
I do think I enjoyed the 3D aspect to it. It didn't seem like it was totally unnecessary. So, but yeah, you're right. If there was no 3D, I don't think you're losing a ton. But I think the 3D was kind of cool. I'm glad we did get to see it in 3D. IMAX was probably going to be cool also. Yeah. No, but you know what I mean. Sometimes we see it in 3D. At one point, remember, they were putting literally every movie out in 3D.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, all right, this added nothing. Like Scream 6 was in 3D. And I'm like, I chose to skip it. Because I'm like, this was adding absolutely nothing. I can guarantee it.
You don't need it.
No.
You don't need it.
But for this, animation movies and movies with a lot of CGI, I kind of would like to check out the 3D. Because to me, in the theater is the only time we're going to see it in 3D ever. I'm not going to see it at home anymore, so I'll see it there. So that was cool. And there's also the post-credit scene that introduces Yoshi. So unlike the other Mario Brothers movie, this one will get a sequel that was briefly teased. Because I know that drove Jason nuts last week.
You're never going to believe this. Dun, 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 dun. We're done.
Yeah, this one will definitely get it, and yeah, it's cool. I can see in the sequel though, you can probably bring in other stuff, maybe some Super Smash Brothers stuff that was in there, more Super Mario World stuff. There's tons of Mario stuff to bring in, so yeah, I'm looking forward to getting a sequel.
I'm definitely looking forward to getting a sequel. I'm just hoping that it avoids the one thing I didn't like about this movie, because there is a big thing I don't like about this movie, which we didn't talk about when we saw it, but
No, good.
I actually really didn't like that they came to the real world.
Okay.
Like I really didn't like that. Like it goes from this fun, frolicking Mushroom Kingdom fantasy to an Avengers level event where like Bowser's mountain is coming and falling on Brooklyn and people are running and buildings are collapsing and he's like, unleashing shit upon them. And like, I don't know, like that. I didn't jive with him in the real world and them fighting him in the real world. Like, I get they needed them to be back so they can fulfill their story arc of making their papa proud.
Mm-hmm.
And also it makes it clear that they make the choice to stay in the Mushroom Kingdom at the end.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just wish there was a better way to do it, because I really, everything that happens in that third act where they come to the real world, I just did not like it at all.
Okay. I mean, and that's fair. But yeah, now I'm thinking about it. Yeah, on the same token, yeah, you're right. They had to kind of wrap up that story arc that they set up in the beginning. And I'm glad it just wasn't totally forgotten about. Like, oh, like what the heck happened? Because they do go into the warp zone to go to the Mushroom Kingdom. When they're checking out a real world thing where they're trying to go ahead and save Brooklyn from flooding, essentially, because there's a big plumbing thing that's going on. So they kind of just bring that full circle. But yeah,
right, and it gives them the idea. It gives them the opportunity to save Brooklyn. But I don't know. I kind of wish, like, I think maybe a better way to do that is they best Bowser and then realize they still have to go back and they get to save Brooklyn using their plumbing skills. Like, I don't mind them saving Brooklyn. I don't mind them. I like the fact that they brought the story arc back. I just don't think that that Bowser and the Bowser like fucking citadel that destroys half of Brooklyn like fits into the real world. Like, it just, I don't know. It took me out of it a bit.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, all right. I mean, that's kind of all I got for it. So I would definitely highly recommend this movie, especially if you have kids and you want to, get some nostalgia going and introduce your kids to the Super Mario Brothers world, and maybe they'll get into the games, or maybe they're into the games or not. But absolutely. And you even said, I think after the movie, right? You would watch this with Finn.
Oh, 100%. I'll watch this again with Finn. Not on my own, because I don't watch children's movies a lot on my own unless I grew up with them. But definitely, like, watching this, I was kind of like, I wish Finn was old enough to go to the theater. I would have brought him with us, because I think he would have enjoyed this. And when it's streaming, I will sit him down and have him see if he likes it, because I think he will. I mean, it reminds me a lot, in a good way, of Wreck-It Ralph.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, and he loves that. Maybe it's like, the big characters, the video game, the racing, maybe it's that stuff. But he loves that movie. So I'm pretty sure he's going to love this movie too when he sees it. And I have no problem watching this 100 times with him, while I'm on my phone, which is what I do when I watch movies with him. But yeah, I like, outside of my own problems with the ending, I think this is a great children's movie that children will enjoy.
Yeah. And again, I also think there's enough in there for adults to not, be dreading their time watching it. Like, again, we were fine with it. We had a good time. We had walked out of the movies with smiles on our faces, and that was cool. But yeah, it is a geared toward children, and I think that's really how it should be. It's fine. So again, understanding the assignment is key.
Yes, exactly. And again, nothing was forced. They weren't trying to sell us anything, because even the nods to the Nintendo, it's like, well, this is a Nintendo movie. Like, yes, it's a Super Mario Brothers movie, but it's a Nintendo movie because you have all these Nintendo properties in it. So it's like, I didn't see it as them trying to sell us a Nintendo so much as like, isn't it funny that they have a Nintendo here and there, and like Nintendo exists? And it's like, because at one point he was playing Kid Icarus.
That's right. Again, I totally forgot about that. That was awesome.
Yeah. I'll go see the Kid Icarus movie when it comes out. But again, like, this isn't like the Taste the Rainbow scene for me, or it isn't like just the how I walked away feeling when I watched the pet superhero pets. It's like, they're not trying to sell me anything. They've already sold it to me. They've got my money. They understand that. They're just giving me a good time, and I appreciated that. And that is, that's what we can hope for in these movies.
Exactly.